Welcome to episode number 77 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast. And if it looks like we haven't changed clothes from the last one,
I haven't even showered.
we have. We haven't changed.
But we've
clothes.
washed his mouth out with soap.
We did do that because every once in a while
Right.
that needs to happen. So, for those of you who watched episode 76, we just finished a couple minutes ago. Now we're moving on to 77.
It's going to be a short one.
That's football.
77.
I just went through all the programs.
Did we even mention 76's?
Trace
Yeah,
Stratton.
we did. We met.
Yeah,
we
we
met.
mentioned.
Went to Stanford.
Went to Stanford, yeah. So 77, I have no idea. I can't think of 77 off the top of my head. Look something up, Nolan. While I
busy.
pontificate here.
Get busy. Oh,
So last night, the Allen
Caleb
Eagles.
Fana.
All right, Caleb.
good job.
The Eagles travel to the crown
Crown
jewel
jewel.
of Texas high
Yeah.
school football
Give me a break.
with the worst PA system.
Oh, it was horrible.
Julius Shoemaker.
Julius.
Julius, congratulations, Julius. Today is your episode.
Today's your shout out.
He was off defensive line. 5'11", 186.
Yeah.
5'11"?
Okay.
Hey.
The crown jewel of Texas high school football.
12,000 seat McKinney ISD Crown
You know, there's.
Keeps your knees in
Where's
your
my
chest.
book at? I wrote a bunch of stuff down that we need to talk about last night.
I wonder who came up with that name.
Jewel. A marketing
I don't know,
person.
but they don't allow noisemakers.
No- no
on
bells.
the visiting side.
No bells.
On the visiting side.
No bells. Now, you can sneak your bells in, as many people
Obviously, yeah.
did. Stuck them in their pocket or something. But
I'm
just
not
don't try
touching
to
that one.
carry it in because you will get busted by security
Right.
because no bells are
It
allowed.
makes it a lot harder to sneak your big bells in.
Exactly. Hell's bells, maybe, but hey. So,
Those
McKinney
bells are
Boyd
just happy to see me.
is 5-0. They think
They're
are the
touted.
world.
Everybody's talking them up. Oh, 5-0.
Well,
Oh,
and
good for them.
it's exactly. They deserve. They're the fans. Everybody excited. I've never seen so many fans in the stands for one of their games.
They did have it. And their
Student
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 section,
section.
that was
Student
impressive.
section was pretty awesome.
And this is where we're going to insert the video, the student section doing the hairband.
Which was being awful loud when their team's trying to get the ball. Cool.
That was
Our student
impressive.
section hopefully learned some things last night just from
Well,
watching.
when our student section turned out,
They did.
but not quite in the numbers.
Except for booing.
First thing I
when
wrote
we-
down.
Oh
you.
my gosh!
Except for booing when our flag corps comes out and
Oh,
runs
that's
the
not even
flags.
what I was talking about.
Oh,
I'm
when-
going back
when
to
they
the
said
Oh,
start
school
before
song.
the game started.
And now the Allen school song. Boo!
I have never heard a fan base boo somebody's school song. I mean,
Yeah, we're
How
not
low
prone.
class is
We're
that?
not prone to complain about kids being
Kids.
rude, but that was kind of rude.
You claim
that's,
that I'm
that's
rude.
never happened
No,
before.
you're not rude. You're Nolan.
You're the example
We love
of
First
rude.
thing out of the box, we're like, okay, let's
All right.
boo them playing their school song.
It's on.
It's like,
It's on.
okay.
Yeah, that's low class.
I was like,
Allen students don't
Don't
even
do
think
that.
about doing that.
Don't do that.
it was like unreal.
No, ours just yells at the band at halftime.
Yeah, for real.
Well, hopefully they don't throw things at the band, which has happened to our band kids.
Yeah, like Plano East when they squirted ketchup all over them and stuff.
Gross.
So once again, Allen loses the coin toss.
That's
Okay.
have we haven't won one yet this year.
I don't think we
Yeah, I
have.
think
But
we
McKinney
do.
Boyd-
No,
yeah,
we
but-
have, but we've lost
We haven't.
every single
Yeah.
one.
But McKinney Boyd feeling their oats, they're going to take the ball instead of
Let's
deferring.
stop right there.
Awesome.
If you paid any attention to McKinney Boyd this year,
Look at the games they've played.
they played Midwest City out of Oklahoma. They beat
Wasn't
them.
that the school for the blind?
No,
37-0.
37-0. They played Grand Prairie.
Okay.
Not very good. 28-21.
Grand Prairie Gophers.
They
Gross.
where
played
Kendall went.
Richardson Pierce, James, your alma
Yep,
mater.
J.J. Pierce.
Which
They have a
is,
great chess club.
They
they
did.
beat them 30-7. They played Trophy Club Byron Nelson,
Which was the Heartbreak Bowl.
28-26, where they won on a block extra point that they returned for a touchdown or for a 2-point.
And they thought they maybe were going to do that against us last night, which was bogus.
Yeah. And then they came back last week and beat Braswell 37-34. So you're like, okay, 37, 28, 30, 28, and 37. So they're averaging around 30 points a game. But when you think of McKinney Boyd, do you think offense?
Not really.
Joe McBride, head coach over there. I was thinking, okay, defense. And what people always, if you win the toss, you always defer.
Right.
Now, that's not to say what they did was wrong, but they wanted the ball.
Right.
So, here's your ball. Have fun playing with it.
Yeah.
First drive of the night. 6 plays, 13 yards. First play, 5-yard penalty. Second play,
Indication of how things
2-yard
were going
rush.
to go.
Third play, incomplete pass. Fourth play, 6-yard rush.
Is this Allen or McKinney?
This is McKinney.
Yeah.
That's how
I
it
know.
started. So they started at the
Oh, I
20,
see what
point.
you did there.
and it's just like, oh my gosh. So they have to punt. 22 yards punt. Allen gets the ball at their 40. You're like, okay, guys. Tyler Legacy's 2 weeks in the past. Let's not do what we did at Tyler Legacy. Okay? First down, Devin Turner runs for 23. Very good. Second down, incomplete pass. Okay? Third play, Hawkins completes a pass to Jordan for 8 yards.
Very
They're down
nice
at the
pass,
Bronco 33-yard line.
Yep.
Driving the ball.
They're driving.
Next play, first down, Jalen Jenkins gets it, runs for 12 yards, gets tackled.
Knees are clearly down.
Both knees go down, and he's falling forward,
The guy rips the ball out.
and the guy in front of him rips the ball out.
Direct snap. I love it. I love it.
It's still in play.
Even though the knees were down,
Oh, yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
fumble,
Well, not for that side judge that was on that.
they called it a fumble. It was clearly not a fumble again.
And they showed the replay. That was nice.
It's
but
just like, guys, one, he fumbled. Shouldn't have fumbled, but
Yeah.
that's the point. The ball got ripped out. But it wasn't a fumble. They give the ball to Boyd. You're like, okay, great. Well, and again, you're driving. You're in field goal range already.
yeah.
You're like, guys, let's not do this again.
Yeah. And Morris got very upset, which I'm glad to see him having more emotion. But you don't want him to have to do that. Fighting the refs.
You
It's
prefer
hard
not
enough.
to.
Yeah, it's hard enough to keep fighting the other team.
So Boyd in their vaulted offense gets the ball back, and they go 6 plays and go 7 yards. So,
A cloud of dust.
yeah, things are not going well, and they keep trying to run the ball. They do get one first down. They run for 10 yards, then they rush for -5, 1, and then they complete a pass for 1 yard, and they punt again. Allen gets the ball in their 44. This time,
A little bit different.
they do get the ball. They do score on a 28-yard run by Jalen
Yeah.
Jenkins.
Is this where we insert the play? That was a nice run.
It was a nice run.
Yeah.
Jalen cut it to the right. Love the kid. He's got great vision,
Yeah,
Great moves.
and he's deceptively hard to bring down.
Yes.
It seems like a lot of times people are right there, and they kind of slide off of him. It's almost like he's a grease pig, Nolan. Sweet. There you go. So the Eagles go up
7-0.
7-0. Sweet. Boyd gets the ball back after another touchback by Caden Williams. They go 7 plays, 4 yards. So here we go. Let's go back and look.
Well, they must have negative running yardage at this point.
They 6 plays. They went from the
They had minus 34 yards rushing with like 3 minutes left in the half.
not 34, but it was negative. It was negative 1 or 2.
No, that stat on the
Yeah,
board.
the board had it negative 34.
34.
Well, they've gotten 13 yards on their first drive, 7 yards on their second drive, and 4 yards on their third. And my math says that's 24 yards and 3 drives. So, and a lot of it they were trying to run the ball, and there was nowhere to run last night. Front four.
Allen
The
defense
linebackers.
was doing
It's
their
probably
job.
one of the best defensive outings on the front defensive line. in a
Very
long
good.
time.
Very good.
And it was so good that they ended up going to a 3-4
They did.
after a while, and it
Didn't help on
flexed
the
some
slant.
muscle.
7 plays, 4 yards. Allen gets the ball back. They're on 38. First play. Guys, this team, I don't know how y'all feel.
Stick them.
Yeah, this
somebody
team,
replaced it.
watching this team wears me out.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
First play, and I haven't seen James's video yet to say who caused it, but a handoff exchange gone bad, or he just fumbled. But Hawkins gets credit for the fumble
Yeah.
at their own,
It was a
38-yard
little
line.
bit of a low snap. Number 6 is a running back. He's going to cross over. Low snap. He didn't have a handle on it, and
And he got kicked.
and it got kicked by the running back.
Yep.
Which, things were out of sync a little bit. Low, didn't connect the ball. It happens, but with Allen, it happens just a little bit too much.
Yeah. So you have your second turnover of the night, still in the first quarter, and you're like, guys, really? Boyd gets the ball, and they figure out quit running.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
start-
McBride's a good coach.
Yeah,
He knows where he needs to go.
they started they found a little gap here
It's called the middle.
Yeah,
in the middle of the defense
which they used a dozen or more times successfully.
all night long.
Well, it's
Called right down the middle.
It's that zone pass defense, and if you run right in front of the zone, you're going to be open.
Well, then, not even to mention, they line up 4 receivers on one side and have one guy to cover all 4 of them.
I will give them credit for 2 guys at the most, but there was no more than that. And you're just wondering what in the heck is going on here. But that play, the slant from the slot receiver or the tight end running the seam route right in the center of that defense was open all night long.
It got to the point where I'd look at Dave and I'd go, I'm calling it right slant right
Yeah,
down the middle.
we did. We
Well,
called it several times.
I turned to James because we were sitting, our wives were between us. So I turned to James and said, if I was them, I'd run that same play over and over and over
And they did.
until somebody stops it.
Yeah.
Because it's there every time. You know, you look out there,
And we didn't.
and the corner, and again, is playing outside leverage coverage on a guy that you know is running a slant or a post. And you're like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I told these guys, I said, we need to get Will on this morning. Will Cockrell. I said, Will, I'm going to call Will and say, Will, explain this defense to me and why that is effective against what they're doing. Because and I'm going to do this when you send us the tape. I'm going to count how many passes there were over the middle and how many yards there were right over the middle
Off of that,
all night long. Because it was there.
Yep.
And they just kept going to it, and it made sense to do it because it worked. Anyhow, they drive down. They get to the 21, and they miss a field goal. Guy hooks it. Allen
Actually,
It
pushed
happens.
it. He pushed it.
He pushed
Well,
it.
see, he was a left-footed kicker.
He was a left-footed kicker,
so
and he pushed it.
Pushed it off to the left.
Allen gets the ball back on their own 21.
Yeah.
The first play is a 27-yard pass to Jordan, and then they end up going to 4th down at the Bronco 46.
Didn't get it.
Didn't get it. So turnover on downs, and McKinney gets the ball and goes 54 yards, the last 33
Yeah.
on a touchdown pass.
Number 83, the slot receiver does a little motion, and our corner didn't cover him very well, and they dumped it into him.
Yep.
The QB had just enough time to dump it off. And he ran it in.
So it's 7-7. Their crowd's going crazy. It was homecoming, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Should we stop right here?
For all
And by the way,
all 5 homecoming
Yeah.
courts.
no,
Time
not
out.
even 5. It was.
Time out football talk.
Participation
There must have
ribbons.
been
McKinney Boyd
12 homecoming courts that they were talking about.
has got to
on
be the
PA.
most participation trophy high school in America.
I'd like to think.
Here's our
academic
here's
advisors.
here's our welders class homecoming king.
Because it started out with, I don't know what it started out with, but there was an academic home.
It
king
was the
and
first
queen.
one, the academic.
There was a fine arts
Right.
homecoming.
Yeah.
There was a Mr.
Nice Guy
Nice
and
Guy,
Miss
Miss
Congeniality.
Yeah, yeah.
And these were all 10
Yeah.
people per
Yeah.
topic.
And then at halftime they did the homecoming king. I think there was one more pregame. I think there were 5 pregame. And you're like,
This is
oh,
pageantry.
it was athletic. There was an
Yeah, it was athletic. Yeah, you're right.
king and queen. You're like, what in the world?
Yeah.
And like Nolan said, he goes, that's stuff that goes in yearbooks. You don't, I'm just, what in the world? Everybody gets a participation trophy.
We're just haters.
Are we?
We're old.
Just because
It's-
we were never on the homecoming court. That's what it is.
Well,
Well,
you may.
you may
Makes
not have.
no difference.
Shocker.
But
It's
no.
It's overkill.
It's like, seriously? It was crazy.
Here's our pandemic free, COVID free homecoming court. And
All of that in the
Here's the
crown
ones
jewel
that
of
had
Texas high school football.
and the crown jewel.
Crown jewel.
Crown jewel.
Allen Eagle North.
Yeah.
We have an Allen Eagle
We haven't
South.
lost
Thad,
against
but
them.
let me tell you,
Yeah, that
Thad
would
would have
be
been
cool.
very proud of those Burger King crowns for the
Oh
guys.
my
that they
gosh,
had.
yes. They look just like Burger King crowns they put on those guys. I was like, take your Burger King
He told
crown.
me. I said, I want to see you playing that.
Yeah. So, all right, back to football.
Back to
Sorry,
football.
guys, we got
Segue.
sidetracked there.
Do, 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 do.
Or
Boyd scores.
We could talk about the band not showing up to the game on time.
We'll save that because
Yeah.
that's going to be a rant.
Yeah, it's going to be major rant.
7-7. They kick off. Kavion Sibley returns at 53 yards, and we'll stop right here. So special teams last night
Great.
on the kickoff returns, A+.
Yeah, A plus.
Put us in position, over 50%.
We had short
midfield.
fields all
Yeah,
night because of
40
that.
plus yard line.
Yeah. So Kavion, sophomore,
Yeah,
good for you.
congratulations.
So first down at the Bronco 45, you're penalized 5 yards. Second down, Devin Turner rushes for 15. James, is your cut off? Because mine's
Mine's
cut
cut
off.
off.
Yeah.
Bottom line is we had a touchdown run. I don't know how long that run was,
And I
but
can't remember. Oh, well, Devin ran 15 yards for a touchdown.
there you go.
Look out! Look out! Look out!
89 yards run.
Yeah. Everything between the 45 and the 15 got cut out for some reason on this. It's up here somewhere. But so,
well,
and then
we
the
had
PAT.
Oh gosh.
When he was 3 yards into the backfield, by the time the ball
The
was hiked.
McKinney Boyd, corner coming off the edge there was 2 or 3 yards offsides,
and then the ball was hiked.
and then the ball was like
No flag.
Yeah,
And Morris was going nuts.
And a referee standing right behind him.
He's right. He's right down
Right
the line.
there.
Right
There's
there.
no way he could have missed that. I mean, I called it.
so Morris is going off on me. The ref puts his hand on Morris's shoulder. There must have been a mea culpa there, Coach. I must have just missed it.
Oh.
You have to forgive me. And
I
then there was
screwed
just
up.
kind of, okay, bye.
Well, it's like you said, James had line of the week. We thought that crew was from Euless, but they were actually from Clueless.
Yeah, it's right next to Hurst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. So Allen goes up 13-7. McKinney gets the ball back, and they start finding again that they had this pass to Peyton Shaw, number 7,
Yeah.
right in the middle. He runs right down the middle of the field, and they end
10-play drive.
they end up kicking a field goal.
Yeah. So good on the defense for stopping them, not letting them get in the end zone.
The problem with that was they gave Allen a minute 25
Yeah.
because Kavion Sibley returned the next kickoff 63 yards
Yeah.
down to the Bronco
That
37.
cures a lot of ills right there.
And Hawkins had an incomplete pass. He rushed for 3, and then he completed a deep post route to Jordan
Yeah.
over the middle, 34 yards,
Touchdown.
touchdown. Oh, he's open! He's open! With about 40 seconds left, 46 seconds left, and Allen kicks the extra point, and they're up 20-10 at half. You're like, okay. And you get the ball to start the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking, here's
Momentum,
your chance.
we got it.
Quit playing with your food.
Yeah.
How many times do we say that? Quit playing with your food.
To extend that lead.
And go. And at this point, and I don't have the halftime stats here, but the end of the game, and I think this is wrong. I don't think they updated it. It may be right. Boyd ended up with 35 yards rushing on 36 attempts. So
They got sacked a lot, too, and that comes into it.
Well, that's true.
it does, but if you go down and look at their rushing stats, Carter Whitefield, their leading rusher, had 54 yards on 23 carries. He averaged 2.35 yards a carry. Shackelford, the quarterback, had 11 rushes for -17. He did get sacked. You said you counted 4 sacks last night?
I counted at least 4 sacks.
Yeah. And then one other guy ran for 2 for -2. So their rushing game was non-existent. And again, I go back to the front 4, the front 7 had a really good night containing that rushing attack, which makes, you make any team one-dimensional, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Yep.
And when that happens, and they're going to have to pass, the front 4, who had a really good night, really got after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Hicks had a great game. Blake Vaughn, is that 99?
I believe so.
I believe that's correct. God, I hope that's right. Had a great game. Zena
was going off on
all over the place last
He
night.
looked good. That was just really. I mean, he's had some decent games, but last night was an all-around great.
Those front 4 really showed me something last night too. Again, because if you can make any team one-dimensional, it's so much easier to defend. So Allen gets the ball, and you're like, okay.
What are they going to do with it? They're driving. 3 or 4 plays, and then
what happens? 4 plays. Jenkins rushes for 32 on first down, for the Bronco 41. And then Hawkins goes back to pass and then ends up taking off.
he takes off to the left, starts, they're going towards the south end zone.
Gets to the
Takes off
33
and
yard
just
line
loses the handle of the ball.
and just fumbles it again. And you're like,
Was that the one? I thought, was that the one he got hit?
No.
he did get tackled on that.
He did. Yeah, he did get hit.
So right when he got hit, it popped
It
out.
popped out.
Yeah.
Popped out.
You're
Somebody
like-
hit his arm.
Yeah, it wasn't like
That was in front of their bench.
It wasn't. Like,
No,
it
that was
wasn't
in
like
front
a-
of our
field.
bench.
Center
It
field.
wasn't like a
Center field.
Tascasita where he just.
No. But he had it in his left hand. He's coming around, and number 10 came up to him and basically just ripped that arm, and it popped right
I
out.
don't think he ripped the arm. I think he just got hit. Or
We'll
did you
have to
see it in
look-
the
we'll have
film?
to
He
look
ripped
at
the
it.
arm.
But
Okay.
either way, whatever
Either way,
it was,
it came out.
It's the third fumble of the night. First one probably wasn't a fumble. The next 2 were. And you're just like, guys, you had a chance to go up 17 on a team that you're better than.
Right.
Don't
Clearly.
let them hang around, because that's what Braswell got up on them 17-0 last week and let them hang around, and they ended up getting beat. And you're like, you got to quit making mistakes like this. I mean, I said they wear me out, because you're like, okay, this game should be well out of hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we should
We've
be
had
all
a couple of
relaxed.
those.
and-
We've had a couple of those
We were
games.
talking before the game how it needed to be well out of hand.
Yeah.
After what they've gone through.
Well, we'd just like to see a blowout when it's due, and this could have been due.
Or at least a clean game. Okay, if you still win 37-24, that's great, but make it clean.
Yeah.
The fact that you had 3 turnovers, it allows people to hang around.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't allow you to get way ahead because you're giving the ball up. So,
And luckily, there are 3 turnovers, but whether they were legit or not, but they only converted to points on one of those,
which was
this one.
Yeah.
They drove
73 yards, and
That was the trickery play. That was the lateral, and then
The
out
pass.
to the running back, and the running back throws it, which he's done before.
well, he's
Once.
the former quarterback.
Yes.
That is now running back. Whitefield was.
Yeah.
But if you go back, and this play is actually on Twitter. Matt Welch tweeted it.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all have gone back and looked at it.
Yes.
The DB who was out there that got by the blocker,
Right.
stops right in front of Whitefield. If he'd have continued on and tackled him after he got the ball,
Or disrupt the pass.
Yeah, but he stopped like he was trying to break him down because I think he thought Whitefield was going to run.
Yeah.
And so he stops and just hesitates enough that gives Whitefield the time to throw the pass. And the
Number
guy's
21 hadn't moved out enough.
Yeah.
Didn't stay with the receiver, number 3.
Should have been a tackle right there.
Yeah.
That play should have never. He should have never had a chance to throw the ball.
Get him.
Oh my gosh, he's wide open. Teachable moment.
Yeah, clearly.
Just go get the ball. Go get them. They score, now it's 20-17, and you're like, oh, here we go again. Allen gets the ball.
Next series,
No,
we have a personnel change.
Yes, we do.
we do.
Number 10.
Lathan Van Alsdahl comes in.
Yep.
The backup quarterback, who's an Oklahoma baseball commit, comes.
Oh, geez, here we go
Mark's
again.
getting all choked up.
Sorry, guys. Comes in and runs the offense. 5 plays, 6 yards. The Eagles punt.
There may have been a little nerves there, whatever it is.
Right,
But
first time.
yeah, getting him out there, heat of the battle, that's good.
Well, new quarterback comes in, defense knows you're going to run the ball.
Yeah, you're going
so
after
they
him,
pile
too.
up the
Yeah.
line, and they stuff us.
Yep.
Boyd gets the ball back, goes 6 plays, 1 yard. See, I love those series when you say that because you're like, okay, defense is playing really good.
Yeah.
The problem is the ones where you look at it and say, 44-yard pass, 50-yard pass.
Yeah.
Is in the middle of all that because
Passes.
so much good is happening on a lot of these plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then boom, and you're like, oh guys, just clean that up.
1 step forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Allen gets the ball at their 40. They drive down to the
Long.
2-yard line.
Long drive.
They get to the 4, and Jenkins tries Wildcat at 0 yards.
Yeah. With DJ blocking for him, they bring DJ in a little bit of the heavy package.
Jenkins rushes again for like 2 yards.
Yeah,
Gets
1
down
or
to the
2.
2. 3rd and goal. DJ tries to rush it.
Right,
Loses 2 yards. And then on 4th down, or actually they end up kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
So they're up 23-17
Take the
starting
points.
the 4th quarter.
Take the points.
We talked about it last night, and again, we're not coaches, but in my mind, you get down there and you start trying to trick things up. Just run your offense. I mean, you've gotten down there just running your offense. Why does the 4-yard line necessitate doing something different?
Exactly.
Your guys have been great. Leave your 4 wide in there, spread them out. You want to throw, great. If you want to just continue to run the ball, which you've been doing effectively all night, do it.
Gary, you've got some really great, talented offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Just blast it. If you're going to do a direct snap, just blast straight in behind one of those guys. You don't need an extra special blocker. But, coaches make the call. Coaches are learning too.
Yep.
Teachable moment.
Yep. Exactly. If someone teaches it.
For who?
Allen kicks off.
Somebody.
It's another touchback.
Which, God bless our place kicker.
Caden Williams.
Oh,
He's awesome.
yeah.
First placement scrimmage, they pass it over the middle. Peyton Shaw for 45 yards down to the Eagle 30. They lose a yard. They're penalized 5 yards. They have an incomplete pass. And on 3rd and 16 at the 36, the play of the night to me, which changed the whole momentum of the game.
Yep.
Shackelford goes back to pass. He's rolling to his right. He's chased. I don't know who wraps him up.
Panics. He's wrapped up by a couple guys. He panics.
Hicks, I think, was in there.
No, because Hicks returned the
Yeah, Hicks was off to the side, but he was coming on.
He was coming, but somebody had him. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
still didn't see exactly
watch
what
the
it
play.
was.
Watch the play.
I saw
remember
him
it's clear in my
almost
head.
on his back,
Clearly, like he was being tackled.
and then
Right.
I thought he was trying to ground the ball.
He
throw it out
was
of town.
trying to throw the ball, but the problem was he threw it
under
backwards.
and backwards.
And
Two
when
or
you throw it
3 or
backwards,
4 yards.
It's a lateral.
Right. Free ball.
And Mr.
But
Hicks,
if you were the SEC officials at the Arkansas line,
Oh, you'd have blown it dead. Yeah.
It's an incomplete pass. Just thought I'd throw it out.
Thank you, David. So DJ Hicks is Johnny on the spot. Picks it up at the 43-yard line.
Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling.
A big man touchdown, baby.
Into the end zone.
Goes big. Big DJ, which to me just deflated everybody on the Boyd sideline because you're within a touchdown.
Yeah.
You get a touchdown.
Our student section was going off on them too. We can't hear you.
37. Actually, it was a 57-yard return for a touchdown.
It was beautiful though.
Point good. It's 30-17. McKinney gets the ball back. 5 plays, 0 yards.
Hunt.
Again, when you look at these 0, 1, 2, 4 yards, it's good.
Well, then Allen returns the flavor.
They get the ball.
7 plays, 15 yards.
Yeah. And again, you're still with Lathan at quarterback, who ended up being 5 for 5 on the night.
Yeah. Brought our completion percentage.
He made a
up
pretty darn good run too.
Yeah.
He
He
did.
can run the
quick.
ball. So when Allen ends up punting to the Bronco 19 with 6:30 left in the game, Boyd goes for it on 4th down at the 50.
Does
They do
not
get
make it.
And then their fans start looking like our band parents. Oh, leaving the stadium.
Leaving the stadium.
Bunch of taillights.
They still had they have a ways to go. You should have seen them at halftime.
Jalen rushes for 0. Here's your play where you're talking about Lathan running the ball. He ran for 27 yards down to the Bronco 24. They were penalized for a personal foul.
Took it down to the
12, and then he completed to Jordan to the 9, and then Jalen ran it in from the 3.
Yep.
Making the score 37-17 with 2:06.
That should have been it.
2:06 left in the game.
And we started to run the clock out.
They get the ball back and they do their thing. And again, we had at that point put in the second and third team defense.
Well, a 19-play drive, and there was one point where we had them stop. I think we ended up getting a personal foul. What was the penalty? I can't remember.
19 plays. That last drive was not 19 plays, was it?
Theirs was, yeah.
theirs was.
Yeah.
There was only, a minute so left in the game?
No, there was 2:06 left.
Yeah.
19?
Yeah,
They
well, they had a lot
stretched
of
it out.
incomplete passes.
Yeah.
And they had some complete passes, and so the clock stops.
Then they get that first down.
Yeah. So
Up the middle.
they score with 22 seconds left in the game to make it a 37-24.
Yeah, clearly a trash time score.
Yeah. Again, stats on this game, the first half was very lopsided in terms of offense, but
Well, total yards was very even at 368 to 355 for McKinney Boyd, but it was all passing for them as opposed to Allen.
And Shackelford came in the game with a 67% completion percentage,
which he did not carry over to this game.
This game was only 53%. So
Yay, defense.
the ones they did hit,
They hurt.
they went for he only had 15 completions, but they went for 267 yards. So, and then the one Carter Whitefield pass on the trick play. But they couldn't run the ball. Jenkins had another good night, 15 for $121.
Yeah.
All of our top 3 rushers all averaged over 7.75 yards a carry. So
That's a good thing.
run the ball, people.
Yeah.
There's something to be said looking at that. We only had 10 completions. Didn't pass. Only had 14 passes though. Yeah. So when you're not needing to pass, it was kind of a
Still had 5 turnovers.
3.
Well, and out of the ordinary for them, their yards after their yards receiving are generally pretty short. I think it was like 10 yards, 9 or 10. And in this game, it's like 30 yards per reception, 18 yards per reception, 21 yards per reception, 31, 15. So there were a lot more yards that they gained than they normally did on passes. So somebody, their other opponents are playing them a little tighter on the pass defense.
Yeah.
And so that leads to the question again, okay, what are we doing? Are they giving it up and just hoping that we can make the tackle, 10, 15 yards, whatever, down the field, knowing that they'll stop them eventually?
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
Yeah, it's got to be it.
Yeah, there were. Last night was kind of a confluence of a whole bunch of different things because there was a lot of good.
Yeah. We
Like that
won.
word. Confluence.
Big boy word.
Yeah, it was a big boy word. And there was a lot of
Showing off,
stuff that
using
you
them
kind of
$5
shake your
words.
head at.
Yeah.
And you're going, especially coming on an off week, when you had a really bad turnover game, you hate seeing 3 more turnovers.
Well, they basically had two weeks off, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks off.
And you,
Well, and penalties, we had 6 penalties for 55 yards. 6 is not a terrible lot, but when they happen at absolutely wrong time,
Yeah.
they're killers.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I still didn't notice the penalties as much as I saw. The things that stuck out to me were the turnover. Were the,
Bad calls
they? Well,
or just turnovers?
no.
The refs had a rough
There were some
night.
bad calls.
Yeah,
Really rough night.
I mean, my throat was sore from yelling at them, and I did.
we had some fans in stitches.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
But this team is, again, I'm exhausted when I get home because we're very ingrained in it and we live it with them, and it's just like, guys, you're obviously better than these guys.
Yeah.
Quit killing yourselves. And you're like, how do you stop that?
Well, we haven't had a clean game since all season.
No, there hasn't been one.
And I get it; it's a new system and so forth. But a lot of it has to do with just.
But-
Yeah, but golly,
But ball
practices.
security is football 101.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
They teach you that when you start playing flag football.
Tackling,
Yeah.
wrapping up.
There was a couple
Yeah.
arm tackles. The running back was a Haas.
You can still wrap your arms around
Oh, I know.
somebody and let them drag you 10 yards. But
Well, and again, his
you know,
longest run last night was only.
Well,
do we
and
even
so
have
part
it?
of it was him
We don't
yeah.
have that.
catches. He had some runs, but
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much that it just seems like you're 5 weeks into the season.
you should be seeing
Should be.
incremental improvement.
You would think things that were seen in week 1 that are correctable,
Would be better.
teachable, would be better. And again,
Yeah.
they won the game. It's not always going to be 100% clean.
right.
You're waiting for that game in which you go,
Wow.
okay, we had no turnovers.
Better team in these same situations. We're going to get sent to the locker room.
Atascocita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They played a pretty clean
Hey,
game.
Fire.
let's be honest. If McKinney hadn't have dropped a lot of those passes,
Been
we
a lot
would
closer or
would
not lost?
we would have lost
Lost.
last night.
Yeah.
Period.
They dropped a
they
lot
were
of balls.
They were wide and they were gone. They were balls that if they had caught them, they were gone. Period. There's just no question, and it would have been a completely
Well,
different.
in the McKinney Lions, we're going to see the same thing because we saw them against Sherman,
Yep.
and they did have a robust passing game. We'll see what happens.
Well,
It was robust against
next
Sherman.
week it's Little Elm at home. Finally
Little
back
Elm
in the
at home.
confines of the
Yay!
non-crown jewel of
Look,
Texas high school.
look for the fathead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that will be exciting to be at home. Prosper
Yeah.
will visit McKinney last night. I guess we should go to last night's games. Geyer spanked Prosper 35-7. It was a 28-0 at halftime. Prosper now has 2 district losses. They better straighten up that ship real quick, or with everybody else playing well in this
Shouldn't have
district,
broken out.
they're not going to happen.
Yeah.
Braswell played Little Elm. Excuse me. A game that was very high scoring.
Yeah.
Braswell, who took it on the overtime loss to Boyd last week, beats Little Elm, who was undefeated, 63-42.
By 21.
Yeah. Pretty good handling of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it gives, Little Elm their first district loss. And so, and Allen was the other game last night. McKinney was off. So you look at the district standings, you got Geyer at 2-0, Allen's at 1-0, and everybody else now has a loss in district. So
The setup is there.
at least one loss, which is kind of what you expect, Geyer and Allen to be the top 2. And the question is, the bottom 5, how are they going to feed on each other, and who's going to come out of that? It'll be interesting to see. Next week, Prosper goes to McKinney. I think that game, if Prosper loses, they're done.
You're done. Yeah.
Braswell goes to Geyer, and Little Elm comes to Allen. So you still could have Geyer and Allen if they both win undefeated going into the next week, which is the Geyer-Allen game at Geyer. So love to see a clean game next week.
Yeah.
Little Elm can obviously score some points. They beat Prosper. They scored 42 last night in a loss. So it'll be interesting to see how the defense figures that out.
Yeah.
And go from there. What else is on your mind?
Band.
The band.
Yeah.
Let's
Band Booster Club ought to be proud of themselves.
Let's caveat this because I want to. Bye.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Woo pig.
Yeah, you are.
Go Dogs. Sorry, guys. Nolan is got to go see his Arkansas team get beat.
Pigs.
He's going to be in a foul mood about 2:30, so everybody be careful.
Yeah.
I want to caveat this, David, because we don't know exactly. We heard some disturbing stories last night that the band trucks got to the stadium
10, 15 minutes before the game started.
6:30, and then they've got to unload all that stuff.
Right.
Late.
Yeah.
In other words, and
Most of the band members were already in the stadium.
Yeah, and a lot of what they put on those trucks is the pit stuff, so it's not as critical. But
Right.
There's still.
But
some
you've got
things.
the tubas and,
Yeah.
and some of the bigger instruments.
And I don't know I've been out of the Band Booster Club now for 5 years. And, obviously there's been some change over there. But one of the things we heard last night was we had a former pit bull come up to us who'd been a pit bull for years.
Yeah.
Years and years. And he said that unless you have a child in the band, you're no longer allowed to be a pit bull. And I was like, well, that's very interesting because I look at
Band
that.
Booster Club changed the bylaws.
Changed the rules where you can't do it. And I was like, well, why would they do that? Because if you've got people who are willing
To help?
love to help, are good at it, know how to do it, why wouldn't you want that experience? Because one of the things I know from the band, my band experience, was there's a lot of things that go on, and a lot of times everybody can't make it. And so you need depth. You need
Right.
a lot of volunteers, and you need people who know what they're doing.
And experience.
And there seems to be some struggles going on with getting the band where it needs to be on time, things, that, and the other. And we heard that last night. I'm like, well, that...
They were less than 5 miles down the street.
I know.
Can you imagine Denton? They're going to have to leave 6 hours early.
Yeah,
Or going to a playoff game at Mesquite or whatever.
yeah, it's just like, wow, what in the world is going on over there? And I don't know. Again, I haven't asked. But that,
There may
that
be
seemed
some
like a really
justification in their
strange
mind.
rule. Yeah.
Right, but why would you cut off people that had involvement, had kids in the program, want to give back?
Have the experience.
And if you say, oh, well, we want to get new blood in and stuff, okay, but you're choking to try and get that new blood in and
Yeah.
to be able to maintain, you're just cutting off your options. It's
Yeah.
extremely frustrating.
You got to wonder, what in the world, keep talking. Walk
Yeah.
away.
What in the world's happening there? And, yeah.
It's kind of disturbing because you want everybody to be able to participate because Allen is a big school, and to me,
Yeah.
the more people that you can get to participate, the better it's going to be.
Well, plus things will run a lot smoother.
Yep.
They can get there on time, get unloaded. I mean, it takes a lot to get that band in the stands.
It does.
Depending on what stadium it is. And that was a tough stadium to get,
And
get people in.
It just communicates to the program or to the the people that want to help that they're not needed
Yeah.
and that we're not a community. It
Yeah.
closes them off.
Yeah.
When you start excluding people, it gets to be problematic.
Exactly.
Because, and I can tell you, those guys' feelings are hurt
Yeah, they are.
because they've been part of it a long time. They enjoy it.
Right.
Because they wouldn't do it if they did. They're a volunteer.
Right.
There's no glory
Giving
in
back.
doing it.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me, in building community, that seems like
That's not a community building move.
no, it wasn't. So if anybody from the band is listening, and if the story's different, feel free to reach out to one of us and just,
Yeah.
we'll gladly retract this and tell, the real truth. But just coming from a former pit bull member, and
Former band board member.
Yeah, you're like, interesting. It's
Yeah.
just, and I don't know. It just took me by surprise, and I was like, what?
Come on and tell us your story.
Yeah.
Leadership leads, and sometimes they lead you into a brick wall.
Well, that
Okay.
does happen. We see that at the top of this country right now. You know? So it goes in all directions. But man, let's get that figured out, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, and two, if you got people that want to volunteer and help, and you tell them no, something's wrong there. You know, find a spot for them. You know, you obviously need a little more help. I just don't understand. Again, I would have never done that, but that's me. We look at things differently. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Just keep doing you.
Next week, again, it's Little Elm. It's next week. No, Pink Out.
Pink out.
Pink Out this week. So everybody, pink out.
Yeah. Pull out your pink polos.
And Breast
Shot.
Cancer Awareness Month. So
Yes.
this Pink Out this
It's
week.
all month. It's all month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love the boobies.
I want to do a shout out to two unnamed individuals last night that walked by us,
Yep.
stopped and said, "How's Alan?" You know, have no idea who these gentlemen were, but they took the time to stop and ask about a brother. For those of you who want to know, he's actually appeared to turn the corner this week after a very rough start to the week.
Not completely out of the woods, but improving.
Seems to
Doing
be
better.
moved out of ICU and into his own room. He's communicating with us a little more frequently now. He finally feels like it.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll kick him out of there soon.
Yeah.
You know,
We keep praying. We
yeah.
want you to keep praying too.
he still needs divine intervention, but he's feeling a little better, and we feel a lot better about where he's at. So appreciate all y'all asking, and continue to keep him in your thoughts and prayers as he rolls through getting over this COVID stuff. So, and y'all keep safe too. You know, be smart about it.
Do what's
you need
right
to
for
do.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, Little Elm at home, 7:00.
Complete Dane.
We finally
Beat down. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a complete game. What did the basketball coaches just say? Finish your shot.
Yeah.
So finish your game.
Yeah. Don't follow your shot. Finish your
Finish
shot.
your shot.
Finish your game.
Let's
Finish
do
your tackle.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So,
And in the words of the immortal coach,
Oh my gosh.
do your job.
yeah, exactly. Man, I just got so off track.
Yes, I did too.
Your butter slipped right off the
It
biscuit.
did. I turned around to watch the opening kickoff of Texas and TCU, and the TCU guy just ran it back.
Ran it back 80 yards.
So, anyhow,
Well,
that's what happens.
TCU's all butthurt from the SMU
Yeah, we'll see.
game.
So, anyhow, folks, thanks for listening. Until next week,
Cheers.
peace out.
Peace out.
We are gone. Bye.
Bye-bye.